Welcome to another Hows and Growls breakdown. Today we're talking about how Minnesota somehow, some way, managed to do the seemingly impossible and choke away an 18-point lead while Karl-Anthony Towns has a franchise record 62 points. Honestly, I'm not even quite sure what to say about this game because it's easily one of the weirdest games I've ever seen. But I think the answer here is that Minnesota refused to play defense all night long. There were other issues as well, namely the ball hogging and spoon feeding of Cat himself in the final quarter, and another strange coaching night from Chris Finch. But really those things wouldn't have mattered if the Wolves played any defense all game. Now Minnesota have been an elite defense all season, but this kind of slippage is becoming more frequent than we saw at the beginning of the season. Over the past 15 games, the Wolves are 5th in defensive rating and 19th in offensive rating, giving them the 11th best net rating over that stretch. That's not bad by any means, but it's more indicative of a middling team, and that's what they are right now, rather than the top tier team that they were to begin the season. In this game, it was their inability to defend ball screens that killed them, so let's take a look at how it all went wrong. Right away, it's simple pick and roll, and it's too easy for Charlotte. Ant doesn't get over this pick, and Gobert drops into here when he needs to get up into here to stop that floater. The contest isn't that bad in the end, but it's way too easy for Brandon Miller to get comfortable, and he spent this whole game feeling very cozy. So now Gobert is coming up here for what seems like a switch, which means McDaniels would just stay with Washington here. Instead they abandon it mid-play, Gobert sprints back out to that shooter, McDaniels has no angle to get back in front, and LaMelo gets to the rim very easily. That's not something you usually see between these two great defenders. Again, it's a nice little double drag action here from Charlotte. Kyle Anderson gets knocked off by the second screen here, and again Gobert is sitting too deep. He's got to come up here to contest and trust that Reed here behind him is going to cover the lob threat. Instead he just sits in no man's land, and it's a simple short jumper from Redacted. I'm really not entirely sure what's going on here. Towns comes up to touch on the screen, but his angle is so wrong to stop ball curling around here and getting a step on him. Gobert's too scared of a non-shooter shooting that he doesn't dig down to stop it, and it's another layup with no resistance. Again, here's another weird switching situation. Anderson and Alexander Walker both follow Miller down here, but instead of contesting the shot, Anderson veers back at the last second, despite being about 4 inches from Miller, leaving him a fairly open look instead, and leaving Nickeil Alexander-Walker out high and dry on the contest. There's just no communication going on in this game. Reed gets torched off the bounce here, Edwards is here nailed to the floor guarding 2 players, and Towns is going to get there on the low man help, but the effort when he does is the level of someone who is worried about scoring 60 and nothing else. Now we get some of that same miscommunication on switches that has become a theme in this game. It seems like somebody thinks this is a switch, so McDaniels needs to veer back here and Gobert needs to get in there to provide help. Even if it's not a switch, Gobert needs to get there and protect the rim, even if it results in a 3-point shot. You can't be giving up easy layups like that so often as Minnesota did in this game. And when PJ Washington starts to drift out of a screen and up to the arc, Towns can't casually walk around hoping that he won't get a 3 splashed on his head. Again, I'm not sure what they're doing here. It's split action with Miller curling around to the middle and Rozier curling off the handoff. Towns again is in a weird position with his body, so he can't get down here to provide any real help on Rozier at all. It's easy buckets, and it's easy buckets all night long. And of course, we end this one with another straight line drive situation. Kyle Anderson needs Towns to help here. It's a non-negotiable, and Anderson is all of us watching as he asks politely why that didn't happen. So if you're wondering how an all-time historic offensive performance from Karl-Anthony Towns can result in the first seed Wolves losing to the Charlotte Hornets, There's your answer. This is still an anomaly for Minnesota in the grand scheme of things, but it is another warning shot being fired at their defense that tends to get lazy against bad teams. Unless they figure out how to get back on track on that side of the ball and quickly, they're not going to survive for long because of their awful offense. Thanks again for watching Howls and Growls. Please subscribe for more.